Hello and welcome to EduTALK. Welcome viewers. EduTALK is live. EduTALK is a weekly virtual talk show created out of the need for a global learning community focused on topics in education that directly impact Caribbean nations and the diaspora nationals working across the globe. EduTALK features teachers, principals, administrators, business leaders, and dignitaries, as well as students who share their expertise on critical topics facing education today, with the common goal of moving education forward and our students upward. I am Dr. Dwayne Dice, and I'm the CEO and founder of Education Solutions International. I am joined, as usual, by my distinguished guest, what am I saying, guest, co-host, Dr. Miguel Barker. And Dr. Miguel Barker is also the Chief Academic Officer of ESI, Education Solutions International. We're also joined by our wonderful, of course, distinguished guest, Mr. Donovan Longmore. And we're going to talk to him in a little bit, but I want Dr. Barker to share a little bit. Let's hear Dr. Barker's voice first, and then we go over to Mr. Longmore.
Yeah, man. Nice, doing. Thanks for just opening the show and sharing what this is all about. You know, we don't do this for ourselves. We're here using this space to share, to ensure that we create a platform where people's voices can be amplified. You know, so people who are doing good work in the Jamaican diaspora want their voices to be amplified. We want the messages that they are sending to just be echoed, so that other people can hear that message and other people can join in. A lot of us living overseas believe that there is, only one way, which is to send a barrel back. But there are other things we can do, is to empower, to uplift, to highlight, and to raise awareness. So today's guest is someone who was, when we look at his biography, your head swell. I'm sure his mother would be very proud. And, so this is someone who we expect to share with us a little bit about the journey, but today's guest is all about that. So Mr. Donovan, welcome.
Yeah. So Donovan, you're going to talk a little bit by word of, we don't do a long intro because we want you to talk. You're here for talking and sharing. But for our viewers, Mr. Longmore here is a very avid entrepreneur, over 35 years in leadership experience in the entertainment industry, as well as finance and healthcare industry. And he was born and raised in Jamaica, in Montego Bay. I used to work there for a little while too.
Oh,
Mount Alvernia school. And then he migrated to the US in the 1980s and carry on his dream and vision of making Jamaica a better place too for living. I'm thinking inadvertently you are trying to get Jamaica to live up to the sustainable development goal of the UN to live in a peaceful and happy place.
Yes.
I want him to highlight something else, but this is a talk show host. He has his radio program, and a program he also created online is called Reggae.University, and he's going to talk a little bit about those two. So welcome, Donovan. Let's hear you, and just dig into how you ended up here, according to what Dr. Barker said earlier. Your background, I shared that you're from Jamaica. Just tell us who you are, really, in a nutshell.
Come on. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me, and welcome to all the viewers. And my name is Donovan Roger Longmore. Born and raised in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Was born in Cornwall Regional Hospital, and grew up. Every child in Jamaica had fun, and the struggles that we had to go through. All face it, and it makes you a better person as you get older in life. And thanks to my mom for the guidance that she gave us. Many of us, we grew up, father figure wasn't there, so you have to learn to be a man on your own. So I did pretty much that. And I was raised in a church, so I understand, the calling that God had on my life at an early age. So growing up, do the regular boys thing, being lovers of women and all that stuff. It's natural. Loving school, loving sports, loving my culture, loving my country. Those were always inside of me, and I never stopped that. I migrated to the United States early '80, and saw that there was a difference, because I'm a man who loved music. And when I got here, there weren't not much music of Caribbean descent on the radio station. And, you know, I decided to make a change. I said, no, man, I called them up and asked them to play even Bob Marley. And, you know, that was an issue, you know, and though they know him, but, you know, we weren't getting the love. Say, you know, rather than being one to be a part of the problem, I decided to be a part of the solution. You know, many of us complain and give ideas and suggestions. I'm not here for suggestions. I'm here for solutions. And I went as far when I was at Central Connecticut State University. I saw that there were not enough representation. There were plenty of students, but not enough representation of our culture. There was a guy on there playing reggae music, and he was just more on the cultural root side. And I was like, we have a broader segment of the genre. And I decided to join him and enlighten the show. The show got 10 times bigger. And you know, it was so big that I had to get my own show because there weren't enough time. And I understand, and I accepted it. Started my own show. I decided, okay, what am I going to call it? It's got to be something reggae, you know. What is it going to be about? And I said, it's a journey. And it's so funny, when I came here, there was a song by the group called Lakeside, and they entitled the song Fantastic Voyage. I love that song, you know, the up-tempo, the disco side. And I said, I'm going to call my show The Fantastic Reggae Voyage, you know, as the journey throughout the waters and throughout the world to teach people about our rich heritage and culture. So the name stuck, Reggae Voyage, for the years, and I've continued on. And the purpose of the show is to enlighten people, to entertain, educate, inform, and inspire through the music and through our culture, through discussions, interviews, reviews, ideas, anything that's there. Continue on that for several years. I did it in 1989 when I started out, and I'm still doing it now. Went to various radio stations, understand the culture, and also learn how I can grow as an individual to improve the conditions in my country back home. Because I mean, being a proud Jamaican, you want to make sure that you don't take care of your family here, but you also want to take care of family back home, because home is first. And I did a lot of things. And once I created the show, you know, I got further into it. I've won plenty of awards, gone a lot of places, host so many events, and I said, wow, this is great. I loved it so much that I wanted to give back and do more, make my voice heard.
Hold on there. Before you go into that, pause right there. I don't want you to go too far. The moment you open your mouth and start to talk, I want to highlight just the kind of resonance and the cadence that was in your voice. Yeah, you have that.
Thank you.
You have the voice, right? So my question still, as we dig a little bit, because we're going to come back to your chart, we don't want you to run it off in one straight line.
Yeah.
A little bit. At what point in your life did you realize that you had the voice?
When I came here, I was like 5'5". I was short. And I don't know what happened in America, what we eat and drink. I just spurred. Wow. I went from 5'5" to 6'1" in 1 year.
Yeah.
That spurt growth. And as you grow as a teenager, you know, your voice starts to evolve and start to change. And when I was back in Jamaica, I used to love listening to Don Topping, Barry G, and I would get up and mimic those guys on the air now. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sports Fan. This is Don Topping, you know, the boogeyman, Barry G, you know, and I would start following them. And I was like, man, one day I'm going to be like those guys, you know, those were, you know, part of my heroes. And when I got older and I got here and I saw it and I listened to other DJs on the air, I would act like I'm them. You know, practice being that. So if I get the opportunity, I would just run with it. And it did. It came. I met one of the gentlemen, Philip Duncan, that was here, and he's been on the air for a while. And he actually had a 3 to 6 a.m. show. And I'm like, man, this is an opportunity. I don't care. I just want to learn. And I had that eager inside of me. And he got me in the station. And Dr. Barker and Dr. Dice, he left me by myself. The first day, you know. The man leaving me in the studio by myself. I was so excited, but I was nervous at the same time. I said, oh my God, people are listening to me and I don't want to mess up. And I was there and I had to learn hands-on. You know, you don't ever read and stuff like that. So you don't, you see how things work. I'm pretty much mechanical in my head, and I read and I found how the whole things work. I mean, I know how to put the thing on the turntable and spin it. That's easy. But then again, you have to know when to take a break. But I was watching him before he left, and he came back at the end of the show and he was like, how was it? I was like, man, I was a nervous wreck, but I got few calls from ladies that just encouraged me. And I was like, that's it. From this, I'm going to take off. You can't hold me again. and once you got that great feeling that you have a fan, even if it's one, you have a fan. I'm like, all right. And they encourage you on the air. Because, you know, people can be very critical and they talk and say things. And one thing that I love over the years is I'm the type of person, I take my culture and my music seriously.
Yeah.
If you as a fan request a song, I am going to go to the end of the earth to get that song or play that song. So my catalog of music is wide. Not just reggae, you know. I love gospel, I love calypso, I love soca, I love R&B, I love hip hop. I'm all over the genre because I have to learn, because what I'm doing as I go along, where did that music come from? We all know it came from Africa, because on the website Reggae.University, I teach about the history and the culture of our music. It's on there. It's about the history of reggae music. And
that's the hold on, because we have to interrupt you every now and then. That's the other part. That's it. You talk about your program on the radio, and it's on a channel WFCS.
I started at WFCS. That's when I was at Central. And I've been on several various platforms.
All right, good. So what is the radio channel now for you?
I'm on several of them. I'm on WESU 88.1 FM. That's in Middletown, Hartford, Bloomfield in Connecticut. And I also do live broadcasts in Jamaica on UFDB radio. In Kingston, you can hear that on 87.9 FM. And I also do something out of England every Tuesday. It's called freshfmradiolondon.com. My show is broadcast there as well. And throughout the internet, it's all over Africa. And also in Florida, there's one called, Crown's Jams FM. They come on simultaneously when I come on the air. So, we're trying to build it on various platforms. And this is things that we want to do, and have it, the whole showcase for the family, because, you guys are going to be surprised when I tell you this. I mean, my favorite singer in the world is Dennis Brown. That man is just different, and he was voted one of the top 50 voices in the world. And I agree. Bob Marley himself tell Dennis that he's the best, because I met all these guys, when I was little. I didn't know what I was doing, Dr. Dice and Dr. Barker. I was just meeting people, because I love the music, My uncle introduced me to Peter Tosh and Bob Marley and them people. I met Dennis Brown and I hosted a show with Dennis Brown. I almost fainted. I was like, this is my hero. And I'm bringing him on stage, Gregory Isaac, John Holt, Lloyd Parks, and the people band. And while I'm there, here's the difference between me and every other DJ. I ask them questions. How did this happen? How did you get into it? What do you think about reggae music? And I learned
different type of questions.
Yes. And I learned something so valuable, and I research and read. Because everything on Wikipedia is not true.
Right.
You go there, I said, rather than me trying to plagiarize somebody else, let me go find out for myself. I asked the individuals, and I did not know the word reggae. We all knew Toots is the one who said they created reggae. It wasn't him. It was a man named Clancy Eccles that started the reggae craze.
I know the name,
Yeah, Toots was the one who made it popular, and they know each other. But and Toots actually told Clancy, register it before, but Clancy died. So Toots took it and ran with it, which is good. And this is how, and that's even on the website when I try to teach that, and I try to update it as much as possible. But the journey has been so great where, I'm 56 and I'm still learning stuff as I go along.
Yeah.
The younger generation, I train a whole bunch of DJ. Nikki Z is one of my favorite. I remember when she came to me and I took her under my wings and trained her, and look where she's now. And the young DJs, I don't turn them away. They're young, so they're going to dig up the dance hall and this and that. And the reason why I accept them, my favorite DJ of all time is actually Bounty Killer. Not because of his gun violence, because of how he defend poor people. And that's like me. I defend the underdog, the less fortunate. Nobody don't want to come to Donovan. Donovan would take you under his wing and show you. And that's what I want to do, teach the world about the history of our music and our culture, and to help the less fortunate. And
let's
that was a dream.
Stick up in there. Because you're getting into what I want you to discuss here. We want you to look at Reggae.University. I'm going to share it in a little bit. But talk to us some more. How did you form that, Reggae.University? Because you mentioned that it's used to teach people about the culture and the music. So tell us a little bit more.
Okay. Like I was saying, growing up and studying and listening to music, a lot of false information were out there, a lot. And people have to understand that, when you want to learn the history, because reggae is one of the most powerful genres in the world. You understand that hip hop came from reggae, because it was Cool DJ Herc who started hip hop. He's from Kingston. And people don't give him the credit. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit back and let that slide by. I'm going to try and teach the world how they can understand and learn more about our music and our culture. And this is why I said I wanted to do something that's out there. Plenty of reggae sites out there, but I want one that will teach the real historical facts of reggae music and the culture of Jamaica and the world. And I said, you know what? Since I love, doing things and showing people things, it's a reggae thing. I'm going to call it Reggae.University. And as you can see by my logo, that's my wife and my daughter right there. And
nice.
You see the hat with the cap and gown? And I put it over the world. It's not just for Jamaica, it's for the world. So I want to teach the world about reggae music. So that's what the whole design came about. And the little thing that you can see, if you tag on it, you can get to the website. And it's there. To our 60th, Dr. Barker, before you get there, for our 60th, because I love this thing. To our 60th, I'm trying to do tributes to all the legends, all the greats in the industry. So when you go on the site, there's a page called Tribute, and you will see them. And one thing about me, the difference with me, I would say with any other DJ, is the fact that it's a male-dominated industry. I tend to highlight the females. National Women's Month, I do it every month. I mean, even though it's in March, but I play the best of all the females, not only in reggae, but throughout all the other genres too, just because we push them to the back so much. And there's so many great female artists in the industry.
Talented artists,
God bless Marcia Griffiths. She's been fighting for years, Judy Mowat, all those great, and the young ones coming up, the Lila Ikes, give it to the Spice and the Shensia, them though they're on the dance outside, but I also want to do something positive, the coffee, the Shensia, the Intanas, all those that are there. I interview them, and I want to talk to them on the fact that, yes, it's hard for them to make it in the industry, but sometimes it's their fault how they carry themselves, especially the dancehall artists. And I'm trying to say, come on, you're a beautiful woman. You're a queen. You're a goddess. Put on clothes. And it's sad. The genre of the music, sells. So they're trying to do that. But I'm like, come on, Coffee didn't have to do it. She won a Grammy. Marcia didn't do it. She's been trotting for over 50 years. And, I'm trying to teach them as I go along. Yes, they're their own person, but at the same time, you as an elder in the industry want to make sure that your music, your culture, and your people are elevated in a positive limelight. So that's what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah, that's very good. I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Barker, in a little bit. How is your time at Central Connecticut University, State University? How did that impact your transition into media and entrepreneur?
It's funny. When I was there, I'm in Connecticut, but people think I'm from New York. The reason why I used to live at Don One Studio, VP Records, Original Studio, Superpower Studio, because I used to go. One thing about me, I was very competitive when I was younger. Very. I don't want no DJ to have tune before me. And that was the big thing, because I see it in New York and I see it in LA and I see it here in Connecticut. It's like, who busts the tune first, and then there's something that says it's not who busts it first, who make it more impactful. So I wanted to do both. I wanted to be that one. And I do it. People would listen to me just to hear the newer tunes. And even if nobody knows the artist, they would say Donovan will do it. Believe it or not, I was the first guy in the United States to interview Bounty Killer. I mean, he's my DJ, and I was one of the first with another promoter named Artie Wallace to bring him here. He came here and the man told, because nobody really knew who he was. They hear this guy because he had so many name changes, and we trying to build a culture. We brought him here and he tore the place apart in 1991. And I'm like, wow, 92, sorry, because he came on in 91. And everything with him and Patron, the place was overwhelming. And I was the host of all these shows, and that's how I got to meet these artists. I was on the air, and when I come back from New York, I said, you see artists at the studio, the Super Cat. I met KRS One, I met Shinehead, still friends today. And I said to them, hey, if you come to Connecticut, drop by, come to the studio. One day I was in the studio with Shabba Ranks. I mean, people are like, this guy? Come on, they're in New York. I mean, look right up, I'm driving around with Tiger, I'm driving around with Dennis Brown and Gregory Isaac. I was the host, so I want to show them what Connecticut is like. So the promoter, listen, since I'm hosting it, let me show them the other side, just to get to know them better. And in that time,
also to build that connection.
Yeah, man, I was talking to them and interviewing them at the same time, because I want to increase my knowledge of what they're doing and what they're teaching and why they get started in the industry. And I can write a book on them.
You should. You maybe should.
Yeah, man, I'm thinking of it too.
I know you started to talk about the philanthropic work, and I know one of the reasons why Dr. Dice was intending to get you on the show is to really highlight some of the stuff you're doing as a way of, in some ways, tell us your story in terms of how you got involved in the kind of philanthropic stuff. You kind of alluded to that, you know, when you talk about helping young DJs into the business, but that's a little bit more, maybe a little bit about why you ended up starting that. Because sometimes people want to do these things, but they have their own little stories. They'll tell you why they're not help nobody, and a little bit of that, and then tell us a little bit about some of your successes as well. People who are projects that you have put out. And
all right, yeah, man, that's perfect. Growing up in Jamaica, you know, we're not born with no ghost in our mouth, but we know how to survive. That's what I respect about Jamaica. And if you don't have it, we can make it work. And seeing a lot of things, one thing that really gets to me is the fact that I don't like to see a child suffer. I mean, I go to Jamaica every year, you know, I'm back and forth, and I purposely drive around different communities. The fact is just to see, you know, the changes and what can be done. I'm there and I'm looking at people, I don't know them, but I will go up to them, I mean, with caution, because I mean, times right now are kind of crazy. And if somebody see a stranger, and I mean, I don't know Dr. Dyson Barker, how on God's earth, I'm a full 100% born Jamaican, but they know I am not from there when I go visit. I don't know them know it, but them know. Your face look too smooth, you're this and you're that, whatever. So I'm there in certain communities and I see the suffering, you know, the struggles, and I'm like, how can that be better? What can we do to make it better? You know, many times we blame government, but it's not really government, you know, it's us, it's our mindset. If we can change that and make things more positive for our community, it will work. And, you know, you see what's happening in Jamaica right now. Crime is plaguing the place. And if we as citizens would step up and fight against crime, over here we have something, you know, kind of Crime Watch or, you know, Neighborhood Watch and those things. If Jamaica would just adapt that a little bit, and we know who the criminals are, you know, we sometimes board them up and put them up and hide them and whatever. If we would stop that and try to make it better until something happened to your family, then you want to talk about. We want to make sure that, so going to Jamaica and I see all the struggles and this and that with the children, I decided to do something about it. I said, you know what? I mean, if I have to get a little part-time job and work and send money come here to take care of you, that's fine. I've done it. I've sent plenty of kids to school. I've donated so many things, but you know, I'm not one to seek the highlight for that, because you know, God give you the ability, so you go out and use it to your best ability, and He will reward you in the open. But nonetheless, I still try to do as much as I can to help young DJs be a better DJ, to help young kids stay in school, because education is the key. And there are plenty of programs that I'm involved with in Jamaica where we help send children to school, even here throughout the diaspora. You know, we want to make sure we cultivate the minds of the younger ones, because if we don't, they're going to get lost out there. It's easy to join crime, you know? It's easy to join gangs. It's easy to get led into peer pressure. So we as the adults have to train them and teach them how not to get into the wrong side of life. And I tell people this: if you see a child do something wrong, don't blame that child. He or she's learning from what's in their environment. It's a circumstantial thing where we see, okay, circumstances make you who you are. And even though it's harder for them to get out of it, they have to think, okay, there's no other way but this way. And if we're not there, and I say to people, the fathers need to step up more, especially in Jamaica, because so many kids are fatherless, you know, whether by gun violence or the father just walk away. With a group now called, you know, Sunbeam Bible Club, and they are the poorest of the poorest out of Clarendon. And I'm like, when you see a child don't have shoes and him food, you know, he not eat for 2 days. I mean, I don't know how people think, but those things bother me. I mean, it's not my responsibility, as people would say, but it doesn't care. I want to make a difference. I can't help everybody at the same time, but one by one, it makes a difference. And we're trying our best. As you know, Dr. Dice and Dr. Barker, we're in the diaspora. People are going to look to us. Jamaica look to us and need us for help. And whatever we can do, we'll provide. And these are some of the things that I try to do. We have a gospel mentoring program here where we take young men and women off the streets, or not even off the street, but out there in the world. And I'm a basketball coach, and I teach them and coach them. And at the same time, I encourage them, because I'm in the music industry. Everybody loves to sing. Everybody wants music and this and that. So I use that as a tool to bring them in. And when
you mean in Connecticut?
Yes, we do. I coach AAU basketball for young men and women. And we mentor kids in the gospel program where, you know, we just encourage them, and you'll be surprised. Me, myself, didn't know this. That's why I like to listen to young people, because you can learn so much. They have so much suicidal thoughts. I'm like, why? You know, and then when they're afraid to tell people because people are going to look down on them and think they have mental health issues. But when you show them that love and you talk to them, they'll start to explain it. And we as adults know we have to turn around and, you know, cater to them and do things to help them become better and show them that, yeah, life is what, I mean, nothing they have done that I haven't been through, you know, but my mindset was no matter what, I have to make it because it's a Jamaican. And I tell people this, and it can be going for other countries too. Always remember your nationality. And I said the last 4 letters of your nationality. As a Jamaican, it says, I can. You cannot make negativity. It's going to happen. It's part of the world. You're going to face bad days and great days, but nonetheless, learn to have that mindset where you want to make a change. And I'm going to continuously help these young women in Jamaica, no matter what. I was on TVJ a few months ago, and the amount of phone calls I got, you know, because of people looking out for help. So, I mean, some are positive and some are just, you know, people being frustrated. But at the same time, you have to know how to make that wise decision. And Dr. Dice, you know about this in the Northeast. We try to help so many people back home. Dr. Karen Dunkley is a stalwart. We admire her work and all the others in the community that's doing so much in the Northeast and the other regions as well. So we're here, and
so
that's one of the things
you're touching, you seem like you're reading our mind because we're taking it from.
That's what I do. No.
So since you're ending up there, let's talk about the diaspora, because you're the co-chair for Connecticut in the Northeast Jamaica diaspora, Northeast region. What does that entail for people? I'm trying to get an angle here for viewers.
Okay.
The type of work that you do in the diaspora. And the people you work with.
Yes, and it's a lot. I mean, the Northeast is a great team, one of the best, because I've known about the diaspora group, and when they came out with the Global Jamaican Diaspora Council, I'm like, yes, it's now an all world thing. You know, it was just locally, and you hear 1 or 2 people talk, oh, I'm the representative and this and that, but you don't see much work getting done and stuff like that. And for the last 2 years, no, it's true.
But guys laughing, you know, because he has been a part of the diaspora a long time, and he has been. Like, he has stories.
Well, and he would understand that. And now we're starting to step up. And it's not because of COVID, because of who we are. The heart is real, and we want to make sure that we help our people. I always tell people this when I meet them. I said, okay, I'm the representative for Connecticut, one of them, and Diane is my co-partner, co-chair. And I said, whatever problems you might have in Jamaica, that's what my job is, to help you solve it. And even here in the diaspora, I'm just giving that in a nutshell. I said, that's what the representation means. And we will go about, we will try to meet people who are doing great things, highlight what they're doing. You know, it's not all about us, but it's about others, because one hand can't clap. So we have to go out there and we have to mix and mingle with other people. And, you know, you're going to meet people who might not like you or you don't like. That's fine. That's part of life. But you just want to keep the mindset of saying, I want to help my country become better. And that's just part of what the diaspora does. And we've helped so many young men and women. There's more to be done, but at the same time, we're taking it one at a time. And of course, with the leadership of Dr. Karen Dunkley, man, I can't see nothing better. And, you know, we've got a PG and so many great state representatives and people who are now coming on board. One of the biggest things I saw was when Norda Tape from Integrated Diaspora Services, they provide services back home for people here in the diaspora. If you want to get your passport, birth certificate, license, jobs, anything in Jamaica, you can stay right here in the diaspora and do that. And I was so impressed by that. And I said, these are the things we want to highlight. You know, there's a
we're gonna try to get her on the program.
No, I mean, man. I have her info if you need to.
Because definitely I want to before the 60th anniversary, because that's one of the things we're highlighting, to bring you on to talk about your you're a walking library of reggae library. Dr. Parker. So I want to highlight some of the services that we have in the diaspora for diaspora people, to make sure that they like if they have land in Jamaica, they can take care of it from here. If they have goods and other services that they can.
A lot.
A lot. So Dr. Barker, can I jump in for another question, and then I'll give you a chance to talk too.
Yeah, man, no problem. I'm listening, man.
So, you got you got awards for your services.
Yes.
Right, and I realized that This award is called the 100 Men of Color
Yes, yes,
in 2015.
yes, yes.
And then just give us a little bit about the awards that you have gotten because
Okay.
of, and the work.
Yes, yes. And the fact that I go out there, I'm a selfless worker. I try to bring my people together. Unity is strength. And over the years, I actually met the gentleman at Central when I was going to school there, June Archer. He was the one who put on the 100 Men of Color. And he's saying, Donovan, you've done so much work in the community. And I'm like, no, man, I do things for free for people sometimes, just to let it, to make it better. If I can make something better, I will do it. It's not all about the money, but it's about the heart and giving back to your community. And being on the radio, it has helped me to be in so many platforms, win so many awards from so many places, and give back to the community, host many events, and try to be an advocate in the community for making your country and your community much better. And these are some of the things. The 100 Men of Color is a distinguished award because it talks about the top 100 men for that year who are so impactful in their community and the things that they've done. And I was very honored to be chosen that year. And it still continues on today. And of course, these are things where we mentor other men in the area to see, okay, you can do this. I also got a citation from the governor, not only from Connecticut, but also from the state of Massachusetts. So I'm like, wow, that was great to win 2 awards, and you're in one state, but you're getting from 2 states. So they're neighboring states, but I was very impressed by that. And I was so grateful for it. And, these are things that Dr. Barker and Dr. Dice that make me want to do more, give back to the community, because, the reward is there. People will love and respect you for it. You might have those who are negative, but that's the same time you want to do your work to continue to drive and make sure that people are, being taken care of. And you got to be a servant of your community. And that's what that is. And got so many awards. I got an award from Maryland, and I didn't know how I got it. And when I was told, it was someone who knew me, because I host pageantry as well. I host Miss Plus Size Universe. And it was the lady, Pearl Williams, who recommended me and said, you're doing so much work, boy. You need to get recognized for these things. And, I truly appreciate it. I went to Maryland, and they read the work that I've done, what she gave to them. And the guy was impressed. He's from Africa. And he was impressed. And here it is, an African company representing, the United States, chose me to be an ambassador for education in Jamaica. And because I give back and I send kids to school, and he found out about it. So what we're doing now, we're raising funds. They put on events, couldn't do it for the last couple of years because of COVID. We put on events to raise funds. And what that will do now, it will go to, there are 10 countries that's representative. And I represent Jamaica, and we'll take turns and give to that country. And most of the times when I give, because I try to do it every year, I'll do it of my own, or, if I get paid to host a show, I'll take that money and I said, okay, put it towards, the Bible Club, or put it towards sending kids to school. I'm also on the board for the Jamaican, Olympic team, gymnastics, for the gymnasts.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask about.
I was like impressed when they asked me to be that. And I'm like, wow. So, you want to give back. I went down there to see them too. I went to visit them and see what they're about. And when I go to Jamaica, I don't just go for vacation. I go to see why things happen. I go to see and talk. I even spoke with some of the government officials. Me and Camilla Johnson-Smith had a long talk in an interview. Me and Babsy Grange, Prime Minister, me and Mark Golding, I talk and, communicate with those guys. And when they come to town, I go see them, and, we talk about things that will help make the country better. It's not about what we want and making us rich, and that we want to make the country itself and the people in the country. I mean, I understand everybody's going to want and big, but at the same time, we can take, and it's a mindset, I would say, teach a man how to fish and he'll become a fisherman. You don't just send money and borrow back home to Jamaica. That, to me, that's spoiling them. And I said, that the mental slavery of that is, okay, how are they going to be better? Because they're going to depend on you for everything. Why not do something where you say, okay, I'll send money for you to start your own business. I'll send money for you to send your child to school. I'll send money for you to build up something in the community where it can benefit people over the longevity of life. And these are the things that we need to start focus on and just change everything. And if we provide more opportunities, less crime will be in Jamaica.
Yeah. Dr. Barker.
Yeah, man. I think you ended on a very powerful point here about link between opportunities and crime. Can I ask a question? This might be a bit controversial. One of the big debates that has been raging in Jamaica about the diaspora and its relations with Jamaica. One of the things that has been circulating somewhat is the idea of a diaspora representative in the parliament. As
I agree.
Somewhat. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? And just a general discussion. I want to know whether you have formulated a thought or pros and cons.
Yes. Not to be, outdone. There are great minds and great individuals in Jamaica who have done so much, well-versed, well-equipped, well-talented, well-educated, and competent for the job. But I will go further and saying there are more Jamaicans outside of Jamaica who are well-versed, well-equipped, and more competent for the job as well. I mean, you look at some of the great minds that are here. Women dominated 2020, 21, 22. Women have been making so much impact on the world. And 90% of them are Jamaicans or of Jamaican descent. And I'm saying, all right. And I went to see Prime Minister Holness the other day, but he was so busy because other people were around him. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to him about. Since they're the leading government right now, they're the one in charge right now. And I said, if they would look at that and say, yes, have a representative here from the United States or even from England or wherever, be in parliament, it would help make so much better. Because look at it now, everything that they do, who do they run to? Us. They need something done, they run to us. So don't just take us for a little money bank or something like that.
The idea they see us from a political perspective, but not from a governance perspective.
Yes. And we need to be, and we can, I'm not trying to brag and boast on her, but Dr. Dunkley would be a great representative. We have Ambassador Marks and all those people that's doing so many great works here. And you see it. Dr. Dice and Dr. Bartley, you see all the great individuals and the work that they have done. And they will be so beneficial for Jamaica. But I don't know, laws are different, and we have to go around certain things. We're now looking at making Jamaica free from under the Queen, and Barbados have done it, so no, we're trying to step in line and do our own. And we can, but we have to get our act together first. And there's too much division, and if we have the concept here and the ideas here, that will work. Because I'm on the task force committee, the Crime and Prevention Task Force Committee.
Right.
There's so much work that Dr. Francis and those put in here for crime that will work in Jamaica. But there was some resistance there because, Dr. Chang had different ideas and stuff like that. So my idea for the whole thing is this, and I tell everybody this: do not try to fight Jamaica government. Don't fight and go against them. The wise way to do it is to sit with them and cooperate. Work on the plan where Jamaica and here.
There's a saying, if a man is drowning, sometimes if you try saving with John, you
too. Yes.
So the only way you can make him stop drowning is to go the direction. Just go down. Lower than them, and then he let you go.
Let you go. There you go.
So and these are the work with him, not work against.
We have to work together.
Strategic.
And look how we try Dr. Barker. We always say, unity is strength. The biggest thing of Jamaica is out of many, we're one. True. But sometimes you look at it, we're not operating as one, we're operating as individuals. And people will always say this, boy, Jamaicans are the worst because them crab in a barrel mentality, them fight them one another and this and that. But what about those who want to be positive? What about those who want to help each other? They're there, but they're not being highlighted. And just like the music, so many great artists are there, but they're not being highlighted. They're quicker to highlight the negative side first and get them all the media attention. But again, it's a slave mentality. And of course, if we learn how to get away from that, Marcus Garvey did too much for us. Us not to be
in the 1920s as well.
Look at all those. Look at our great leaders. Bob Marley, the king of whatever you want to call it, pop, reggae, everything. That man, I learned something in my way, Dr. Dice and Dr. Barker, that I think it was 1999 where Bob Marley's music was voted as the world's #1 music to prevent road rage. To prevent road rage. And I'm like, it's true. You listen to the man's music, man. It's so peaceful and powerful.
But it's beyond even, I lived in the Middle East, and there are so many situations where I meet random Arabs. And once I said Jamaica, them say Bob Marley. And the interesting part of it is that many of them don't even know where Jamaica is. There are many people in that part of the world assume that Jamaica is a part of Africa, because Africa is massive, right?
Yes.
So they don't know if it's an African country. They just know that Bob Marley is from Jamaica.
Yes.
And they think Jamaica is in Africa until I explain that it is on the other side of the world. Which even then I don't know if it lost in translation. You know,
and you're right. You're right, because
but it's a powerful thing. I was in Turkey. And I was trying to get some souvenir, and I knocked on a little place, an old Turk and his wife is sitting inside here, and I walked in, and you know, as I'm talking to them, obviously I'm a Black person, so he asked me where I'm from, and I said Jamaica. And when I said Jamaica, he just leaned into the corner and just turned up the radio. And it was Bob Marley, Buffalo.
Wow, look at that.
I'm just turning really down because people coming in the shop. I just turn it up and say, you know, am I true? You know? Yeah, so it's powerful, you know, it's a powerful thing. And I don't know if we have time, but one of the things that we have right now is the impact of the music. You talk about crime. And not necessarily, I don't want to say that because that leads into a sort of a position that I'm taking, and it's not. Not so much about the impact of the music, but whether there is a connection between the music and crime. And as someone who is involved in the diaspora work, but also a person who plays music, you know, in a sense, you're kind of at an intersection of that.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I play music as well, and I'm one of those DJs who don't play certain music. I literally do not play them. You know, I played an American club, and I'm not playing any song that have the N-word in it. That's just my vibe.
Yes.
So I wonder if, as a DJ who, you know, has a gospel connection as well, do you have that kind of vibe where you say, I'm not going to play certain music?
Oh yes. All right. Let me start it out. You know, being young, a little bit on the cocky side, because, you know, you were the leading DJ and everybody. But as you get older, you get wiser, and you say, you know what? All right, I was so happy to be on the radio, making a change. But I said, am I making a positive change or a negative change? Remember, now, Bounty, I'm a favorite DJ of our time. Bounty sing the most gun song, right? No, I play them not to say I'm glorifying violence. I play them because I want people to do what the reality is in Jamaica. And the world. You know, you get up every morning. I've been there. Gunman come and shut up the place. I've seen that. You know, it's nothing to hide from. But I interviewed Bounty Killer, and I asked him, brother, why you keep dwelling on the arrogant side? You know, you're cross, miserable, and angry, or whatever. And you see Bounty, you know, he's getting smarter, he's getting wiser, he's maturing. And over the years, that same thing happened to me. I said, you know what? Enough for the Bounty Killer them. Let me only play the positive music from Bounty Killer. Let me only play the positive music them. And I got deeper. Remember now, that is one of my favorite artists. You know, I met Garnet Silk when he came in and performed. And the man has transcended my mindset. And when it comes to, I'm saying, wow, this man sing about, he's a Rasta, but him sing about God so much. Luciano. I used to buy peanut from Luciano in the Montego Bay. And he's a singer now. And I'm like, the man come out and him just God. And I'm like, wait a minute. Let me jump on that now and try to turn it around. Grab the dancehall artist and say, listen, you know, so you can do this, and you know, you can impact more people by doing more positive things. Marianne Hall, lady song. I mean, I bring her on stage so many times. I sat down in her hotel room one day and she said, Donovan, you know, I don't like to do this. I said, do what? Go out there and perform and vulgar. Somebody said, well, why do you do it? Is what the fans want. I said, let me tell you something. You have the power to change the mindset of those fans. Remember now, they might look to you, they gravitate to you. And what you are saying, they might follow you now. And if you say, you know, buy a bread, they're all gonna run to the bakery to buy a bread. You know, if I say take off your clothes, 90% are gonna take off them clothes. I say, you have that power. They're young minds, and we have to, of course, cultivate that mind. Music and crime. All right, let me get into the real nitty-gritty of it. In a way, it does, because they sing about the criminal activity that them see in the community, or they want to do. I mean, you see the younger artists them come out, the first thing they want to make a bus or get out there. Boy, I have to talk about my gun, I have to talk about this and bad man and who Omega making a dopey, and you know, they don't really know no better. And I think the producers, the radio promoters, and MCs and DJs want to change that. You know,
they're the bigger culprits.
Yeah, man, we are the one, because I mean, me, like I say, I play most of female acts. And to promote them and the positivity that they have out there. You know, we every once in a while we're dropping a cartel and a bounty and this and that for the fun of it, but the more positive side of the song, and crime and music does link in a way, because most of these artists, the younger one in the hardcore dancehall style, are connected to crimes. You see it, them get arrested, them this and them that.
Yeah.
And if their managers and those who are producing them would sit them down and talk to them, because they're young, you know, that's what we teach them when they were younger growing up. So they don't know no better. They want to be a DJ, and half of them music kind of fly past the airport because it's just nice them make. But at the same time, when you teach them, because they're hungry and they're in the ghetto ducts, and they see that, boy, the only way out is for me to do a song. And the song out there, once them get like a hype, them get out of control. You know, I remember when Spice was nobody, you know, she first started out, and I encouraged her so much. She was so nervous and so scared because she was on a show with Lady Star, and she was like, oh man, you know, me that look at this. And I said, no worry about that. When me give you an introduction, people now remember about Lady Star. And I gave her the biggest intro, and she tore the place apart. And it's the mindset again, you know, you have to encourage them. But, you know, they go on and they do this and they do that. And I just hope that people in the industry will see, you know, that what Dennis Brown and Bob Marley did for the music industry is unparalleled. Them two, them never fight, them encourage each other. Bob tell Dennis, say, you are the real king, you know, you're the best singer in the world, you know. But we all know how that goes. And music is such where we want to teach our younger generation to put down the violence, step away from it. And it can happen. You know, Coffee about to sing about No Gun Tune. She won a Grammy, the youngest and the first female to ever do so. And of course, she can set the trend in that way and, you know, make the music more positive. Then we need to follow in that direction. Because here's the funny thing, you said, Dr. Barker, you went to a country and you see people talk about reggae music. I think I'm one of the best when it comes to music. By my knowledge, I was taught a valuable lesson. A woman from Germany, I don't know this woman, we were on a plane, and I guess she figured I was a Jamaican. So we started talking, and I'll tell her what I do and stuff like that. And she was telling me about Dennis Brown. The woman put me to shame. Here's a man who met Dennis Brown and talked with Dennis Brown, interviewed Dennis Brown, you know, write a story on Dennis Brown. The woman put me to shame because when she tell me how Dennis Brown born, what time him sing the song, how him come about the song and this and that. I said, wow, you're from Germany. Not even a Jamaican, but you know more about Dennis Brown than I do, and I'm a Jamaican. Gentlemen, I dug deeper. I said, no, man, this can't happen. That woman influenced me. And I said, this cannot happen. I have to learn and do more about my country and my representation of the music. Because if we're having foreigners taking over music like that and knowing more about it than we are, then we're lost. Everybody was upset when, you know, the white group won the Grammy.
Yeah, the reggae, yes.
And you know what? I said, glad it happened, because we need to be taught that lesson.
Yeah.
You know, not to say that other artists weren't worthy of it, but what are we putting out? You know,
You're not putting out music that can come.
we put out negative songs.
It's a big conversation, man.
Very. And I've had plenty of them, and I said I support it, and I think that's the direction we need to go in, more positive music. And it can happen. You know, you can talk about what's happening in your community. That's fine, but let's do more positive things. And it helps reduces crime, because we're influencing the younger minds, and they're thinking that, I mean, me love Bounty, but me never pick up a gun in my life to shoot nobody, because I know what I want it to be in life. And I said, if we as, you know, older generation, the elders in the industry can teach the younger ones, it'll be a much better platform for everybody.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So we have to close off on that note, you know, because of the time too. But I want just say a few, just a tiny bit. As we close, we're gonna give you the last word. Still, you know, to share anything else that you want to share, and then we top out here.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for having me again. Last word I want to say: in life, any and everything can happen. My motto is love God and live. You know, Jamaica has more churches per capita than anywhere else in the world, but yet Jamaica have more crimes for the small size of the country than anywhere else. If we would learn to put God in everything that we do, you know, there's so many preachers, pastors, evangelists, people who go to church, Christian per se, in Jamaica. If we would live our lives according to what we're preaching, it would be so much better for Jamaica. The music, the culture, the people, the environment, you know, even the leaders who are in office, if they would take the time out to acknowledge and know who God is, Jamaica will change. Not to be like a preacher to people, but I would say this: the Bible did tell us that if we, his people, will humble ourselves and pray and turn from our wicked ways, God will hear from heaven and he will heal our land. Every day, my brother, I pray for Jamaica. My wife is a minister, so I pray for Jamaica all the time. I love my country. Usain Bolt said he loved Jamaica more than anybody else. Me tell him, say, I lie, I tell. I love, my name is Donovan Roger Jamaica Longmore. I stand up for my country. I love my country. I would do anything for my country. And I would die for my country. And this is what it's all about, being a true diasporan, being a representative, being a true Jamaican. And we just want to make sure that people do the right things to make our country better. We just need to unite. We need to collaborate, communicate, and collectively do things together to help build each other. There's too many brains in Jamaica that's not being utilized. There's too many great individuals, you know. If we would come together, work together, and live in love, in peace and harmony, we would have a much better world.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. Thank you so much, Donovan, for coming.
You're very welcome.
Being a part of this. I'm very happy that we're spending time together and even go down memory lane.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Barker?
Yes, no, thank you, Donovan. A lot of learning for me.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to see if I can matriculate for the Reggae.University.
Reggae.University.
Person, you know, I like music. I play some music. I'm more an amateur DJ still, but I do play. And just hearing you talk about the history of the music and stuff like that is really something that, you know, but it's good. The work you're doing as well, really, really appreciate the fact that you are willing to come and share that as well, because one of the things we want to do is not only do, but get as many hands and more hearts and more people involved in doing, because the country that we are from is small. It look about it, Talawa. Problems in Talawa in some things and it becoming Talawa in some bad things as well. So we have to kind of sort that out. So really appreciate you coming on. I think it's really enlightening for everyone that's here, you know. And hopefully we can get to meet you. And I'm gonna see if I can find your program and listen to you and
man. What I'll do, I'll send it to Dr. Dice and he can send it to you.
No, I see the link, WESUF, something like that. So I'll try and sign in, catch it and see what you're about. But no, man, nice having you, man. Easy.
Well, you say you're in England, right?
Yeah.
And Tuesday nights at 10:30, freshfmradio.com, you can listen to me live.
All right,
I'm gonna share it with everybody again so that they can see. And I can send it to you, Dr. Barker.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna put it on our website.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right,
pretty cool. All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Donovan.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Dr. Barker, thank you for hosting with me too. And everyone, EduTALK is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we will see you next week with another show. This has been wonderful, and we're gonna share it as much as possible. It's really good, very rich.
We'll tell Donovan when it will be shared so he can send it around to his group.
Tuesday nights, Tuesdays 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, send it to me and I'll definitely get it out.
We'll premiere it Tuesday, right, Dr. Dice?
Yeah.
And so we want, just send it around your group and make them join, subscribe as well, because we have maybe about a good, maybe a large number of interviews, right? So you can go and check it in. There are some diaspora people there that can still enlighten as well, you know? So,
yes.
Yeah, very, very good. We're gonna bring you back on in a few months to chat again.
No problem.
Because Dr. Barker brought up one point there that he said it's a different conversation with the music, and we need to.
We want to start having some of those kind of discussions.
Yes. Definitely.
Definitely. Who is in the crossroads?
And we can get other guests. Yes.
It helps when we have those conversations with people.
Yes.
All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Take care. God bless.
Bye.